To see Martha Raddatz go at it with J.D. Vance like she did. Listen to this exchange, cut 4.
And what we're hearing, of course, Martha, is that people are terrified by what has happened with some of these Venezuelan gangs.
Senator Vance, I'm going to stop you because I know exactly what happened.
Martha.
I'm going to stop you. The incidents were limited to a handful of apartment complexes.
Do you hear yourself? Only a handful of apartment complexes in America were taken over by Venezuelan gangs, and Donald Trump is the problem and not Kamala Harris's open border.
Did you hear that? She says, I'm going to stop you right here because I know what's happening here. So you would think that she's going to say, none of that is happening. That's all false. No. I've reported on this a month ago. Yeah, we know that it's real, and we know that Venezuelan gangs are taking over apartment complexes. She says, no, it's only a handful of complexes. That's what she was doing. She said, no, I know what's happening here, and the mayor is on it, and it's only been a handful of apartment complexes. How many do you think she would tolerate if it were in her neighborhood? How many houses could be overrun? Because let's face it, it's an apartment complex. And so these are people who really don't have the means to fight back, financially and otherwise. So if it were in her neighborhood, if this Venezuelan gang took over homes after home, just a handful of homes in her neighborhood, just a handful of homes, what do you think she would be saying then? This is anything. They will do and say anything to make sure that this invasion of our country that this administration summoned, they will do everything to downplay it because they know at bottom it's Kamala Harris's fault and her open border policy with Sleepy Joe.
Americans are so fed up with what's going on. You seem to be more focused with nitpicking everything that Donald Trump has said rather than acknowledging that apartment complexes in the United States of America are being taken over by violent gangs.
I'm sorry. See what they were doing? They were just knocking the door off. Now, my guess is, and it's only a guess on my part, they're not going to send around a repairman to fix that doorknob. Yeah. So whoever lives there has now have an open door. And so they have to live under threat. By the way, at gunpoint. And ABC, the wokest of the woke news network, says it's only a handful of apartment complexes that's been overrun, so I don't understand what the problem is. Yeah, you know what needs to happen? They all just need a hug. I think all of these violent, inhumane gang members, they just needed a hug. And if we could only stop the propaganda from J.D. Vance, if we can only stop his propaganda, maybe they can be, grant him asylum.
A handful of apartment complexes filled with American citizens, by the way, working class American citizens, are supposed to accept that Venezuelan gangs are taking them over. Martha Raddatz, who lives in the swamp, would never accept that if this were her residence. But you plebeians, you must accept it. It is so deeply, deeply out of touch. But that is what these people are. In New York and D.C.,
it's not just out of touch. This is something entirely different. This is dangerous, deceptive news reporting. It's not that they're out of touch. You heard her. It's only downplaying. It's only a handful of apartment complexes that this violent, foreign, armed gang has taken over. It's only, that's all. I don't understand why you're so upset, JD. So it's not that they're out of, they're not in touch. That doesn't matter. What? You think that Donald Trump, you think that he's kind of connected? When was the last time that Donald Trump lived in an apartment building? My point is, you don't have to have lived in an apartment building to know that a violent gang overrunning the apartment complex is a bad thing. Why do you think Donald Trump wants to send them back? Good God. You don't need to be connected. That's my point. I understand what she's trying to say, that, everybody is, they're so, out of touch. This goes beyond being out of touch. This is anti-America. This is you're willing to give up U.S. territory for foreign nationals that are armed in the hope that your candidate wins. God.
So out of touch, they don't understand the Trump movement. They don't understand how you could be upset a gang takes over your house. And by the way, let's talk about the human toll. There shouldn't be one girl who goes jogging that loses her life to someone who should not be in this country. And there have been several, not to mention a young girl, Jocelyn Ngari, who walked to a convenience store and she lost her life too.
Democrats are not out of touch. Okay? Democrats want power at the expense of your life, at the expense of your neighborhood, at the expense of everything. They just want power because they're smarter than you. They know what's best for you. They know what's best for your children. And sure, every now and again, you're going to have to, lose your children. But it's all for the better good. So, again, when I tell you, don't allow Democrats positions of power where real decisions are being made. I mean, this goes beyond anything I've ever heard from any anchor, any news person ever. I mean, this makes Adam Schiff look reasonable. All right, that's it for now. If you like this video, smash that like button and subscribe. And if you're following me on Rumble, please press that follow button. And until the next time, God bless.